Welcome to Coach Hayes Football and the Team. That's right. If you're here, that means you want to become a team member, and here's how you do it. Simply join up. There are 3 tiers. The first tier is the player tier. On this tier, you get to use special emojis as well as you will get member shoutouts. The second tier is the coach tier. Now, here's where you get prioritized in the comment section on live streams, discounted merchandise. You also will receive access to early videos and private videos. The third tier is the coordinators tier. This tier right here is where it gets really exciting. You get to skip the phone lines and be next automatically. Also, you can join me on the screen, right, during the live streams. You get to come on the screen and talk your talk. Also, we'll be watching some games together. So you'll get specialized and private links in order to watch the games with Coach live. Just a quick note, the higher the tier, you also get the perks that go below it. That's really exciting. So not only that you get the perks for that tier, but you get the ones that follow underneath as well. So don't hesitate. Go ahead, hit that join button, become part of the team with Coach Hayes, and become a player, coach, or coordinator. And I'm telling you, we're going to have a great time this season.
Take it back, take it back, take it back, take it back, slide. Skate. I like you got us some skates. 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 Start for the jet, let's go. Pull off with you, slide ding, ride ding, dad ding, moving with you, drop it with you, time about the green light, let's go.
What's up, Kane Nation? We got a good one for you today, man. This is Kane's Talk Live. Episode 209, something like that. We dropping them in the books every week, man. We're going to make it happen. Season's right around the corner. We got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to talk about it, and I got a special guest on here, not a stranger to the channel, has been here before, but definitely going to have some insight. We know just recently we've had 2 Miami Hurricanes be inducted into the National Football Hall of Fame, Andre Johnson and Devin Hester. They've done an excellent job in their careers. Definitely deserve it because they Canes, baby. All Canes deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but these guys have definitely stood out, like I said, amongst the rest, man. But again, like I say, very special. Real quick before I bring the guest on, got to do a little bit of housekeeping. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good. LMV already in the building with a thumbs up. Also, if you want to join the membership, please do so right there below. If you are an Apple user, make sure that you use your Safari browser instead of your YouTube app. Google and YouTube out there cyber beefing, and Coach Hayes want no parts of it. So do me a favor, just go ahead and click that link. You can go there or hit the join button down below. Also, let me add this here quickly. If you would like to join our fantasy league, make sure you come on in right now. It's 3 different levels. You got a $25 entry that'll get you $225, $50 get you $450, $100 get you $900. All you have to do is cash app Coach Hayes Football, right? $ Coach Hayes Football on Cash App. Use your email address in the memo section so I know where to send the link. If you do not send the email address in the memo section, you have just donated whatever amount of money to the Hayes Foundation, and just know the kids appreciate you because you're not getting it back. I'm just telling you, you're not getting it back. All right? So also, when I do send that, make sure you check your fan tracks. It's going to come from Fan Track Sports. Check your spam folder as well. And if you have any questions, make sure you email coachhayesfootball@gmail.com. When you're sending out your money on Cash App, make sure you see this black and white logo. If you don't see it, then you just donate it to somebody else's foundation. So wish you the best with that too. All right. So make sure you follow the direction. We too grown not to read in the instructions and follow it, man. It's a lot of fun. They got apps on it for Android and for Apple users. The draft is live, all of that stuff. And it's super fun. It is super fun. And like I said, it's cheap fun, man. Come on. Where can you go $25 to win 225? 50 get you 450. 100 get you 900. Huh? All my fellas out there. Just get a 900 to the wife. I know it's football season. She like, but baby, you ain't paid me no attention. Yeah, I did. I got you $900. Here you go. So that's what it's all about. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely chop it up and talk about it. Let me quit blabbering. Let me quit talking. I want to get into this right here because I think we're going to spend some good time. Oh, shout out to Trucker Said, 1972 in the building. He just signed up for the $50 league, man. Shout out to that. Look out for your email tonight within the next 2 hours or so after I get off this show. All right. And we're going to make it happen. Real quick roll call, and we're going to get into the thing. Normal guys, first shot. What's up, P-Lo? Shout out to the best channel on YouTube, Coach A's Football. Thank you. Member, Omega Red. Salute, Coach. Appreciate it, OG Kane. All right, man. Let me go and give Cuban Diamond some love. We played the college football. He beat me with Duke, 56-14. But my Miami Hurricanes ain't going to lose to no Duke in real life. So you can play with your joystick all day. But we're going to play some real ball. That's all I know. Ellen V, of course, the first lady through the smoke in the building. And there it is. All right. Let's get this thing rocking. Let me go ahead and clap it up, man, without further ado. Let me bring in Coach Dunn in the building. What's up, baby? Oh, I'm all jacked up, Coach. Hold up, trying to get on screen. Here I go. What's up with you, Coach? Oh, I got you on mute. I'm sorry. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm tired, but I had a great four days, really 5 days. And,
all right. So for those that don't know, Coach, do me a favor. Slide over just a little bit in your camera. You got you halfway cut the other way. Other way. Slide the other way. Yep. Perfect. All right. So we got Coach Dunn here. I'm going to call. He's a Miami legend to me when it comes to high school coaching and football. He actually gave me my first job coaching high school football fresh out of college, wet behind the ears with a Hampton sweatsuit on. I remember that day, Coach, walking out there. And, I always call you my friend, my brother, my mentor. And that's the truth, man. Like I say, had opportunity to be in your wedding rather. And, I look up to you and I always reference you in a lot of the things, especially when it comes to football and even just life, man. So I do appreciate it. But not just mentoring me, man. Coach, you've had I tried to write this down earlier. How many guys you think you've had that have gone to just say college football, and then how many you had to the league? How many guys you think you put in college, Coach, over your career?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your the broadcast. I enjoyed the broadcast, and thank you for the kind words. And you've been a blessing in my life, and all the teams that we had prepared, and all the young men that we've prepared to go off to school.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. As far as college, I think I have at one time, right before I was getting to Norland, I had over 100. And that was 10 years at Miami High. And so, I stopped really counting. And to be honest with you, someone looked up the guys that from my college team, looked up how many guys I had and went to the pros, and it was 28. So
wow.
Yeah, it was. We was talking about
hold on. I want you to understand what you just said. If I just take you at 100, just take it at 100. Simple math here. 100 guys in college, 28 go to the league. That's 28% of your kids going to the NFL, man.
Yeah, well, God has really blessed us. I never even really realized that until they had me writing down some names. I started writing names. I was like, oh wow, God has really been good to our program and to the young men that we had there. They had to go into that league.
Yeah. And you had quite a few, right? We're going to talk about, of course, we're going to get into Dre here in a second, and even Devin Hester. But even that, prior to that, you had some real big names too. You had Roscoe Parrish that went to the U.
Right.
Richard Gordon, Duke Johnson. I just say we kind of split some time. You got him early. Duke Johnson. See, I got my name on over here. Kareem Brown. Shout out to Kareem Brown. I might be missing some, but I know you definitely have had a lot of big time players, man, that go on and play at that level. But let's talk about the man of the hour, I guess, is Andre Johnson.
Yes.
But I'm gonna hold up before I do that. I'm gonna bring up something that our former player Bostic brought up to me. I'm gonna ask you this question. I don't know if he asked you this before, but I'm gonna ask you this, and let me know in the chat also if y'all know this. How many born and bred Miami-Dade County players are in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I can answer that. Actually, I've made a bet to one of my former players because he thought it was Andre was the only one, but Ted Hendricks, because I'm a sports buff.
Well, we knew that.
Ted Hendricks.
Yeah, we knew Ted Hendricks. Yeah.
University of Miami, right? Then you had Larry Little, Booker T Washington, and Bethune-Cookman. That was 2. And Derek Thomas from South Miami and Alabama. And then
you had his brother. We had his brother Demetrius played for us. Yeah.
Yes. And so the 4th one is Andre, and for Miami High and University of Miami. Yeah.
So when he asked me that, now that you say these names, I'm like, I knew Ted Hendricks because I remember bringing up Ted Hendricks.
Yeah.
But I forgot about the other 2. I forgot about Larry Little. And I forgot about he played at Alabama from South Miami. Derek Thomas. But I still think that's such a small number for the amount of talent that comes out of Dade County. I mean, you think about what comes out of Dade County, not Broward, because we still got Michael Irvin and we got some guys. And I think a lot of people get confused with the Warren Saps, but he's from a pauper. He's from Orlando area. We think about those guys because we equate them with the word Miami, but I'm talking about high school born and bred kids. And that's to me, that number is still super low for the amount of talent that comes from the crib. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That comes from the crib. But let's talk about Dre for us. Well, Devin Hester
but let me tell you something. What they said, the commissioner said at the thing on Friday at the banquet, and it was kind of funny. He said, just think about this. He said in the NFL is only 0.008% that goes to the Hall of Fame. I was like, God, it's a small amount of
what is it, 200? Did they break 300 yet?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention to it. It's possible.
Let me see what Dre's number is, because they always call him, like, you remember Edgerrin James called. We think about Edgerrin James too, but he's from Immokalee. We think about those guys. But let me see, Andre Johnson Hall of Fame number. He is. I'm trying to think about the number. I'm trying to, because they always call themselves that number. So I don't know. Somebody put in the chat. So Bruce Jones says less than 350. So yeah, that is a very small amount. Small amount. Yeah. Let's talk about Dre for a second, man.
Right.
So Dre comes to Miami High. We all know he's from the Bajas. He talked about in his speech having the opportunity to watch some of the games on the Jumbotron. At that time, it was called Joe Robbie Stadium, from his grandmama's house. So he's from the Bajas, but people don't know that's right basically by the county line of Dade and Broward. You can't get any more north than that of Dade County. And he goes to Miami High. Miami High is on what? 1st Street, 2nd Street, something like that?
2nd Street, 3rd Street. Right, it's between 2nd and 4th Street, so it's that big. Yeah.
Yeah, and he grew up on Northwest, probably 210th Street. So he 200 blocks from Miami High. How does he get to Miami High? I think we could talk now because we all grown now. We got to worry about it.
So one of it is mom was a post office worker. So she worked down in that area. And 2, she wanted him to he came to Miami High as a basketball player.
Okay.
I tease him all the time. I said, you should tell that story, So he came as a basketball player in the 9th grade, and he started the summer early. Back those days, you can start the summer early, and he literally was in a friend of mine who was a teacher also. Shout out to her, Miss Johnson, and she brought him to my office, and she was giving him his the bit. She was really giving him the business, but she was telling me like, "Hey, coach, you know this young man is not living up to what he's supposed to do in the classroom, right?" And he didn't say nothing. He was just quiet like always. And she gave me, and then she said, "You know what? He's gonna be with you. You keep him, and you turn it. You give me his grade." And she walked out. And I looked at him. I said, "Oh, this is, you know, he was lanky with long arms. I always look for the long arms." And I said, "Hey, you know," I said, "You play football?" He said, "Nah, coach, I'm a basketball player." And I said, "Well, you know what? You can do both." I said, "If you want me to give you a grade, you can stay in my class, but only football players is in my class." So he said, "Okay," just like that. And that was history. You know, he started, you know, being in my class, doing all the workouts we do in the summertime. And literally, that's how we got him to start playing. You know, he literally
So he,
came to the school to play
yeah, so he
basketball.
came to play back because y'all had a great basketball. Shaky
Great
Rodriguez.
brother.
I mean, I
Great.
was known for basketball at that
Yes.
time. What's the
Phenomenal.
guy that ended up playing at Maryland? Blake.
Blake. Blake came, transferred over from Killian, and he came
What's his
there.
first name? His last name is Blake.
Um, I
He went to
just
Maryland, played in the NBA for a little bit.
yeah, he played. I
Steve
can't
Blake.
remember.
Stephen Blake.
Yeah, I don't know his first name. Yes,
Steve Blake. Steve Blake is his
Steve
name.
Blake. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had a
Yes.
great team then. Udonis was on that team. They had a
Oh,
phenomenal team.
UD, huh?
Yeah, yeah. UD was
So,
there celebrating too.
he came to the Hall of Fame.
Oh man, it was awesome, man. He came to like 3 event, man. I thank him. You know, we was talking, and he was just saying, "There's no way I was gonna miss it." You know, so he
Love it.
was there. Yeah.
Now, did he play both sports in college? I mean, in high school.
So he was supposed to be my defensive end, but the college, not college, the high school legendary alumni from Miami High thought it was a risk for him to play um, football. And literally,
Mhm.
Steve Spurrier came in my office, looked at him, and said, "I want to offer you a full football scholarship right now." But you know,
Really?
at the time, yeah, but he wasn't allowed to play, even though he hung with those guys and knew those guys. He wasn't allowed to play.
So he didn't play. So he didn't play football his ninth grade year. Then
Who?
no, I'm not talking about Haslam. I'm talking about Dre.
Oh no, Drake played. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you talking about
Oh,
Haslam?
yeah.
Okay. I
So
was confused.
Andre,
Okay.
yeah, so Andre played ninth grade and 10th grade,
You
11th
talking?
grade.
Go back. You talking about Haslam was your defensive end? Okay, I see where your mind at.
Yes,
Like, I was like Dre.
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
No,
I got you. Now we're
that
on the
was
same
Haslam.
page.
I
All right.
thought you were still on Haslam. No. So Dre, yeah, Dre played ninth grade, and you know, one of the things that came out that I saw that was like before Dre, I had like two um All American defensive back high school. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to do this, you know, but I used to run this little cover four, and
Mm-hmm.
I just used it to see how well these guys were. So I used to run option backside away from, and I'm sorry if I'm messing the people up while they're listening, but
Do your thing. They
and
hear me talk
so
like that all the time. Mm-hmm.
and so I used to always have these high school All American, and they made the play, but it was like, you know, the guys probably might get 2 yards, and it's a phenomenal play if they can even stop it for 2 yards. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had Dre, I would line him up. He was like in the 10th grade, and I was just playing around, and I say, "Hey, you know, we're gonna run option. I just want you to go backside and make the play." And man, that dude took off. He took like 3, 4 steps, and he was like almost making the play damn near on the line of scrimmage. And I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. And I literally, that same day, his mom came to pick him up. I said, "Ma'am, you got one right here, boy." I said, "In about 2 years, I'm serious." I told her, I said, "In about 2 years, you gonna have so many people trying to get him." And I remember I spoke to that same year. I spoke to this reporter, and he was like at the time we used to have the Miami Times, and I told him, I said, "Hey, I got a kid in the 10th grade. He gonna be the best thing that ever come out of Miami High, right?" And he was like, "Man, you got Ben Hanks. You just had Ben Hanks. You just had Marquand Manuel. All both on went to Florida. You had Cleveland Thomas, and he was naming all these guys. Tutu Atwell. He was naming. He said, "Coach, you know what you're saying?" I said, "Bro."
Now that's the daddy. A lot of these people get confused about the new the son Tutu. You talking about the daddy Tutu? Yeah,
oh,
you talking about the daddy.
The daddy was a monster. Same ability. Probably faster. And Ben Hanks. Ben Hanks are not doing great. But
yeah.
Ben Hanks
hopefully
was
he
a
to you, Ben. Come on, Ben.
Yeah, I'm telling
you, baby.
And so when I made that statement, he couldn't believe that. And he even said, "Y'all had Eddie Brown that went to Miami High and went to the U and won that." I said, "I'm telling you, this dude, he just don't know it yet." But and so that was one of the things that I really saw in him, and that was by him playing defense. Just asking him, "Hey, they're gonna run option," and I told him what to do. I said, "Just go backside and let's see what you do." And he didn't disappoint me.
He didn't disappoint. So then he goes from defensive back. When does the transition to receiver come?
So I know some of you guys know Coach Harris, Ice Harris. So Ice Harris was my wide receiver coach, and at the time he was my coordinator. And one thing about Ice, I always love about him, if you can play, and you're young, he's gonna see it and he's gonna grab you. And he literally took him away from what Andre wanted to play wide receiver anyhow. But he took him away from the defensive back coach, and he started playing wide receiver. And I remember we still had him on JV, and we brought him up, man. And the first play, we just told him, "Run a straight go." And he ran a straight go, and you know what happened. And it was like touchdown. It was like touchdown. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
And so, it was just, he was such I say he was a good athlete. But one of the things I was talking to, I don't know if you remember Coach Swayze from University of Miami.
Yeah.
We were chopping it up on Saturday. And one of the things that
he was there too.
Oh, yes, he was there.
Good.
And he had some good stories. Yeah, he had some good stories. Let me tell you something. University of Miami represented. And I'm not from University of Miami, but they're one of my teams. And I was just so proud of the guys that was there and how they honor him and how they came out to celebrate him. But anyhow, one of the things that I always used to tell people, I said, Andre Johnson, obviously God gave him some ability, but he worked, and you know how we work, you know what I mean? How we put it down. So he worked and got himself to the point where he was Dre, he was Andre at Miami High coming in there, and he worked to get him Dre where, he was one of the top dudes and whatnot, And so I kind of figured he was going to be special. Again, like I said, I used to pick their numbers, so I gave him number 5. And if you were number 5 for me at Miami High, you're gonna be an All-American. I had like 3 before Dre. I had 3 number 5 that was All-American in high school. So, he wanted a different number. I said, "Nah, you got number 5, bro."
That's good, man.
Yeah. So
that's good.
So he was a young man that was, and then we had some great mentors that I because when he was younger, he didn't understand the process. He was
Mhm.
upset with me because I made him run track. And then so he would try to skip out to go see his girlfriend. Because a 10th grader, he trying to run to go to the bus stop, right? And I
Right.
had two bad boys, and they was workout warriors. One of them is the defensive back for the defensive back coach for the Jets, named Marquand Manuel, and the other one
Yeah.
was Cedric
Yeah.
and Cedric Irvin. I said, go get him. I said, if y'all don't go get him, I'm gonna get
Damn,
y'all.
coach, I forgot you. Hold on. Sorry, Dre. Time out.
Yeah,
Hold up. I forgot you had Cedric Irvin too.
yeah.
Eminem, Cleveland
T-Van
Thomas,
Thomas.
Cook,
Cook,
yeah,
yeah.
aka Cook.
I had Antonio, Andre Brown, who ended up was the other receiver across from Marshall. What was the Moss and Marshall with Randy Moss.
You talking about? Hold on, you talking
And,
about Eddie Brown? You talking about what's his name,
no,
Daddy?
nah, this was
No, that's
another
not his
kid named.
daddy.
His
Okay,
name is Andre Brown. He made all first team all day. Matter of fact, he came up there to the Hall of Fame. And yeah, man, we had Carlos Osagata, who ended up going to West Virginia, and then we have Ian Skinner, which was probably the at that time was the most talented one we had. He ended up going to Florida. Then he got University of Florida. Then he had one great year, and then he tore his knee up against saw the national TV against Kentucky. So we on offense we had some really, really nice guys. But like I said, back to those guys had to run. It was mandatory,
right,
that they had to run track. And Dre didn't understand that because he was a 10th grader,
right.
because he never but coach, I'm a basketball player. I say, I'm not stopping you from playing basketball. You just gotta run track,
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the great things I liked about Dre was I don't know if he was afraid of me or whatever the case may be. He never said no to me, And he literally the year we was getting ready to go to state, coach, Dre came to my
Mm-hmm.
office. He came down. He was working on a Norland practice field, and he walked in my office and he said, "Coach, you getting soft." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Coach, when I played for you, I was a kicker, I was a punter, I was the corner, I was the kickoff returner, I was a quarterback, I played receiver." He said, "Man, you got Dwayne Bowe, and the dude only playing a little bit of safety." And, he said, "Coach,
And
where you get that from?"
Coach, I used to beg for him. I was like, Coach, I
I
get the way,
know.
boy. That's safety.
And
Xavier
yeah,
Rhodes. Coach, I get
Xavier
Xavier Rhodes
Rhodes.
as safety, coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason I mention that is because he appreciate that, because in high school they don't understand that, and I
Right.
used to say, when you play all these different positions, just like when he was a punter, right? He was like, "Coach, I never punt the ball." I said, "Hey, can you dunk?" Yeah, coach, I can dunk. I said, "Well, you can punt if you can dunk. Because if you got a vertical, you know how to punt." And so, that's one of my big things I used to do with kids that are athletic, that can dunk. If you can dunk, you can punt. Don't let nobody
Right.
fool you about that. You know what I mean? Because you have the reason you can dunk it because you have low body explosion, and that's what you need to be a punter. But anyhow, he was a young man that he never said no to me. Like I was like, "Hey man, I need you to be the punter." He was like, "Coach, I never punt." And I said, "You know how to dunk?" He was like, "Yeah, coach, I can dunk." I said, "You can punt." And that's how I got to be the punter. He was my quarterback one time. Him and Roscoe Parrish. Believe this or not, coach, I'm fun to tell you a story. We were playing Coconut Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And my quarterback, matter of fact, the one he was at the Hall of Fame too, man. Shout out to Kareem Roberts, man. He was such a great person. Him and his wife, throughout the Hall of Fame, he helped celebrate it. But he was our
Mm-hmm.
starting quarterback, and he did something he wasn't supposed to do, and I suspended him. And played. They were like, Coach, you don't have no quarterback. I said, yeah, I do. I got Roscoe Parrish. He was a young dude, and
Right.
Andre Johnson. Coach, do you know? They were like, Coach, we don't really know the players like that. I said, let me tell you something, man. I'm saying this to the sideline. I said, I'm the head coach. Remember that. I said, every time you go back for a pass, I said, Coach gonna call a pass now. But every time you go back for a pass, I want you to run. Coach, I had 2 quarterbacks had 100 yards the whole
For real.
game. That's how
They was
and
ready.
that's how we beat. Yeah, they just they were again, they were young and they were kids. At that time though, I think Andre was the 12th grade and Roscoe was in the 10th. And the thing I loved about that process is some kids would have not wanted to do that challenge because they never played quarterback, but they had the trust in the program, and even the trust in me to go and do their thing, And then again, Roscoe ended up being a great quarterback. But like I said, Andre, we was laughing. He had a party after the jacket, and I'm gonna tell you a story which was so funny. He had a bad game against his junior year, right? He had a bad game, coach, and we were and he was distraught. And I said, hey man, all the great receivers have dropped passes. I never met anybody that didn't drop a pass. And so being the head coach, I saw this thing, coach, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try this in practice, right? And so, and this as a head coach, I said, I'm going down with the wide receiver. So I went down with the wide receiver, and it's this drill coach they had. I don't know if you remember Coach Brooks used to do by the goalpost. They catch different kind of passes, slants.
Catch it around the pole and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So I come up with this great idea. I have the dummy pad in my hand, and I come up with this great idea that because he had dropped 2 balls jumping to get the ball, and he dropped them, right? So I decided, well, you're gonna jump, and then they're gonna throw you the ball, and I'm gonna hit you with the pad. And coach, he went and he jumped, and I didn't know that dude was gonna jump that high. I ended up hitting him, and he flipped. I hit him, and he flipped, and coach, you talking about scared? I was so scared I dropped that darn pot. I dropped the pad and said, you know what, we'll never do that drill again. And he could have been.
You thought you was gonna hit him in the waist or something. He jumped so high, you ended up hitting him in the bottom in the legs. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was so scared. I try to play. If I was like, get up, and I walked off. I said, man, I threw that darn pad. I say, coaches, y'all got it. Let me just walk away. And I thought he was going to be so mad.
Your heart was beating out your chest.
My heart was beating out. Like, oh my God, I'm going to kill my best player. And he was a junior. Matter of fact, he probably at that time weren't the best, but he was talented, And so I said, I'm staying away from offensive guys. That was my last time dealing with that kind of stuff. But let
me ask you this. Because you hear this about Dre all the time. Very quiet. I know that.
Right.
Having an opportunity to be around him a little bit. We gonna get into his brother that he mentioned in the speech, Willie Pope, and they almost like spitting image so far as mentality, personalities. But Dre is quiet. Dre is quiet. But why is he a killer on the field? If that makes sense, like very very quiet man, a few words. What was that switch?
I think that and I might be wrong. I don't. That's just my personal thought process. I think that the things that we did in practice, I thought, and then he was fortunate enough to then go to a coach at University of Miami that had that same kind of spirit we had. You understand me? And I think that it became a habit for him, because in actuality, he's just a pleasant. As a matter of fact, let me
You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
Somebody asked me this yesterday. They said, Coach, if you had a chance between Dwayne, what's the between Dwayne Bowe and Andre? I said, Dwayne Bowe got that killer mindset that I'm the wolf and you the sheep, and I'm gonna eat you. He had that mind, and he used to come tell me like, Coach, man, just give me the ball, Coach. We gonna Andre ain't gonna say nothing like that. But I think Andre just the system of working hard, like we said, catch the ball and turn up and go, right? That's what Andre did, right? So while he's doing all these things, from that piece where we teaching him this and teaching him, he getting bigger, stronger, and faster, right? And so now, the one thing people don't realize, like you don't realize it, sometimes I forget about it because he's so quiet. He's a competitor.
Right.
Like, you see him on basketball, he trying to dunk on you. I'm like, damn, you trying to dunk on your coach? Really? Like, I think I'm the head coach.
Right. And I think, because, we from the crib, cool. We going to talk trash. We going to be loud. Listen, you can't tell us we can't do. The 340-pound homeboy, he think he can shoot number threes on the basketball court. He think he the quarterback. Like, you can't tell us, if we from the crib, you can't tell us we can't do. And once we got our hands around your throat, you gonna know it. Like, we gonna, I know everybody's not like that. And it's humbling to know that a person like Dre has that kind of humility where he doesn't have to be that way. But you from the crib, Coach. We gonna talk that. We gonna talk that, Coach. And he from the crib, like he is.
Yeah.
So
this what he did, because we were laughing about this Saturday, right? Like literally, we were laughing. So Dre, let me tell you what Dre did. I'm sure his competitive spirit. We're playing. What this coach too? I forgot where he's coaching at right now. Robinson. He was at Auburn. He might be at Auburn now. He always been at SEC, always with Mustang defensive back coach. Well, he was T-Rod. T-Rod. So T-Rod was talking smack, right? And he was holding on, but Dre was getting him. Let me tell you about the competitive spirit. I called. Well, actually, I didn't even call it because I wasn't calling offense, but we were, we already was up, I think, by 10 or 14. So we running the ball, right? Dre and the quarterback changed the play because T-Rod talking crap to him, and they caught an audible, ran a slant, and scored a touchdown.
You took that thing to the house.
Yeah. So he knows what type of personality I am. So he know he gonna get the business in practice, but his competitive spirit.
So I'm gonna take this punishment. This punishment.
So he's quiet. Yeah. He's quiet, but he gonna get it to you now. He's just not verbal. Where our boy Dwayne, gonna be talking while he running the pattern. Yeah, that young man. Dwayne told me yesterday he gonna be the next one in the Hall of Fame and whatnot.
I hope, man. I need to get with Bo, man. But let me ask you this: going into the recruiting part of this, as you say, at this point he blows up on the scene. Everybody knows about him. He's 6'3", and it's so funny. Their body types were very similar. He and Bo. I wasn't around when Dre was coming out. I'm probably about 2 years too late for Dre coming out. But Bo was like around that, the 6'2", 6'3", 205, 210 frame.
Right.
Dre had now put his name on the map. You guys had a bunch of talent, so everybody knows who everybody is. Recruiting is nowhere near like it is now. It was no huddle. Because, I came around with the VCR tapes. Hell, I'm old enough now to see when it was VCR tapes till we went and got the CD tower. So the 10 burner CD, and you put them in there and that mess around have an error, you don't waste an hour of your life because you got to redo it again. But anyhow, what was recruiting like for Drake? Because like you said, you got all these players. Mm-hmm. Was recruiting crazy for him? Especially now, it's probably way different because of the way social media is. But even back then, these coaches were relentless.
Yeah, it was definitely big time for him. We had USC. That was one of the guys that was on him hard. Obviously, University of Miami, Nick Saban at Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
And please remind me, I'm gonna go back to this to tell you a story about again what you was talking about, competition, competitive, okay. And so excuse me, yeah, but it was very, very intense, and it was one of those things that you try to protect him, but at the same token, he had a good support system that were trying to do their best to protect him. Now, obviously, I had to do it from a different angle because I deal with the different coaches and I understand the politics where they was coming from an emotional standpoint. But his recruitment was very, very, I don't want to say tough, but it was just high, a high stake, because there were some schools that really was like, we might get him before University of Miami get him. Mm-hmm. Like before you got NIL, yeah,
brown paper bag. I get it.
And so how we used to tell them, Coach, that you can't make no commitment until you make it home with your parent. And luckily, man, USC boy put the business on him, boy. They put a lot of people don't know that the USC. He almost went to USC.
That would have been around Reggie. That would have been around the Reggie Bush era. Maybe Reggie was a little bit later than him. Just
who was his recruiting guy?
Who?
Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn, okay.
Was taking him. And so they gave him the business. Now you can imagine you coming from Miami, and Miami is and he's not a kid that's out in the street. And now they come to get you in a limousine going to California, Southern Cal.
And you finna be in LA, huh?
Hey, let me tell you something. I had to drive him home. I had to drive him home when he came back and said some little words. And I think I was telling them this weekend that I probably was very harsh when I was speaking to him about those situations, because he was naive, and that was my position to say, hey, let's look at what we're supposed to look at, and we laughed about that this weekend too, because I said some words I probably shouldn't have said.
But you know what? It's stuck, and sometimes, I learned this just through time, age, dealing with so many different kids and personalities. Mm-hmm. And you learn those things. You sometimes you probably felt like, let me say it this way because, and I know you're very calculated,
right,
in your approach to things, but you said it because I think you really wanted it to stick. You know what I mean? Like, because you may not have talked to him like that. So when you talk to him, you're like, wait a minute, Coach ain't never talked. He must be serious.
Yeah.
Like, he got to be serious. He ain't just like, because if you talk to him in a normal tone, it's like, blah, wah, 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 the Charlie Brown, just, okay. But when you say it like that, it's like, whoa, hold up, Coach must be serious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you say, he never told you no. So he really probably took that to heart, like, oh, wait a minute, let me rethink this thing. Let's talk about Miami. Him going to Miami. At this time, he's there. I'm now working for you, rather. And I remember, we didn't watch a lot of Miami games because we trying to win our own games, but we did sometime have it on when Coach Dunn have us in there for 19 hours.
Yeah, those were the days.
Hey, he come in there with videotape. Coach, y'all break these down. It'd be like, hey, it'd be about 9 VCR tape. Be like, Coach, hey, Coach,
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
glad
but
when no kids on the team. I'm child labor laws, coach.
I
We
know. I
working 19 hours.
apologize too.
Nah,
I
man,
feel
that's good.
bad.
No, but you
Hey,
know what
coach,
though?
before you go through though, let me tell you. Okay, I want to go
Yeah.
back about what you said about
Okay, about
Dre,
trading
right?
the competition. Okay.
So we're at Michigan State, where I took about 8 kids, Michigan State, a
Okay.
couple good athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dre,
And Nick Saban
Dre,
is there at the time, right? Nick
Nick
Saban is
Saban
the
is
head coach.
there, yes.
Okay.
And so right off top, he saw how good Dre is, right? So he falls in love with Dre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he's doing, and which is I knew what he was doing, but that was like the you say, yeah, this dude got some smart. So what he's doing, he putting Dre with different teams, right? And
Mm-hmm.
anytime, like he's showing out, Dre's showing out, right? And so what
Mm-hmm.
he does the first day, if a team was losing, he took Dre from the winning team and put him with the losing team,
Mm.
right? And Dre, he boom, 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 he playing good. Like I said, Dre is his mindset is not like, he's doing it because this is how it's supposed to be. I'm a competitive, and coach said we do it like this, and I'm gonna win, right? But he's not talking
Mm.
smack, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying about him, right? So man, Saban is like coming, standing next to me. He's like, Coach, you got one. And so we just chopping it up because we looking at him doing these great things, right? And so the Nick Saban finally said, okay, you can go back with your team, Miami High, because he took him out of Miami High, right? And
Oh, he
so
took him away from his own team. When you said team, I thought you like they had a
yes,
group of kids. You told me he took him from Miami High and put him like with Lakeside High School or something.
yes. And then if Lakeside are beating the other team, right? Or
Uh-huh.
if they have won, he switch them and put them on a team that's not very good.
So he don't even
Just
know these kids. Like he just putting them on
he don't
somebody
know
else's
them.
high school team. I love it. I
He
love
don't
it,
know
dog.
them, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he comes back and put him against the best. Actually, the team from Detroit was probably the most talented team because I had Dre, and then I had a couple guys. They were good. Their parents was able to pay money. That's why they went. And so, because I didn't have my top guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like when we was at Norland, you know.
Right. We took 19 of them then. Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying about just where he is and how his makeup is. So he won the first match. I'm sorry, before we played the team in Detroit. So the team in Detroit, I think they had Charles Woodson, right? I think Charles Woodson was on that team. And they beat Miami High, and everybody's like, because everybody was like, oh, by the way, there was everybody in camp's my man, Saban's on Dre's dick, so they wanted to see him look. Oh my God, oh yeah, they was hating on him, but he quiet, he ain't saying nothing, right? And
Right.
he
Right.
loses. We down by 14, and I'm young, so I went off. I mean, I was in the corner with them. I said, look here, I promise you. I promise you. And I said some word. I can't tell you what I said because we understand here. I said, and this was the first time Andre ever flew on a plane. I said, I promise you, you guys would not come back on this plane. And I said some words. Man, that dude put on
You
a
gave him some year of the
show.
bull treatment, coach. You gave him some of that year of the
Oh,
bull treatment. We were just talking about
hey,
that.
I was saying some words. I was because I was hot. Because I was
Right.
like, oh no, you done did all this stuff for these dudes? And then we getting our butt whooped, and everybody was trying to see us lose. Because Saban was like all on Dre, right? And so to make a long story short, that dude came back and scored 18 points. But he put on a show. I was like, okay, I got me somebody here. And this was going to a senior year. But the point I'm making is you see how he didn't say nothing to me when I was doing all that ranting the rate. He didn't pout. He didn't do none of that. But he just did what he was taught as far from not a competitive, from a skill set, but his competitiveness was there. You understand what I'm saying? I hope
like he's doing exactly what he's asked to do, but his competitive nature put it in overdrive.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's the thing that tricks people, because he's not gonna be. He really ain't gonna be talking like that.
Right.
You know. So that's the phenomenal part I loved about it, because, like you said, we so used to guys that if they're alpha dog, they
gotta calm them down. You gotta calm them down. You gotta calm them. Hey, Bo.
Yeah.
Chill, dog.
Yeah.
Nah. Hey, man, chill. Tony O'Brown, relax, dog. Tony, relax.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I totally get it. No, but that's interesting. You said that, and this is what's so interesting about coaching, that this kind of stuff is not in books, right?
Right.
And I think I'm a pretty innovative guy. I do not try to boast, but I would have never thought, if I would say Nick Saban, I would have never thought to say, let me take Dre off this team and put him on this team. And then when that team losing, like, you constantly putting the kid in a bad situation to see how he comes out of it. That's what I'm listening to as you saying this. I want to see his competitive nature, because he's not a talker. He's not a salesman, meaning he's not going to sell you on what he can do. He can only show you. So and that's why I tell people, in my opinion, what makes Saban the GOAT, it ain't the X's and O's in the championship. But it's that kind of stuff too, that you get the best out your player, and talent evaluation.
Yes.
How many coaches could say they evaluated a kid's talent that kind of way? That's important, man. That's important.
Yeah.
Man, I never thought of, guess what? Somehow, some way, if I ever get back in coaching, my best player finna go to every losing team I got. I want to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it showed me. And I was like, you know, I got mad at him, because I'm like, okay, we down by 14. And everybody, I'm talking about everybody. It was a championship game. And everybody they're pulling for Detroit. Everybody. And they were doing that, to be honest with you, because of how Saban was treating Andre. You know, but he wasn't just pampering him like that, because that Saban is different Saban from Alabama State.
Right.
That Saban,
way different. Way different.
I saw him got mad at all the coaches, because we, you know, and we high school coaches, and they coming in the meeting 7 o'clock in the morning. He like, what the hell you think this is? And we're like, man, we ain't getting paid for this. You know,
we volunteered. He cussing us out.
Yeah. Oh, he cussed. Hey, he gave us the business.
So a lot of people know the mature Nick Saban.
Yes.
The how do you say it? The seasoned Nick Saban.
The elder statement.
Right. And you know what's funny? I remember telling this story, man. I remember us going to Alabama. Were you with us that time? I think, we got off the plane. And the camp was already going.
Yeah.
And I think it was a GA or somebody that brought us, one of the quality guys brought us from the airport. Because we walk into the indoor, and people just running everywhere. We just start running. We didn't even know where to run to. We just started running, because everybody was running. And this was a camp. Coach, this was a camp. This wasn't, like you say, coaches ain't getting paid like that to be out here getting yelled at by Nick. Man, we walked in, and the GA, he just took off. Only thing we saw him anymore. We just started running. We didn't even know what we was running to.
Yeah.
So it's just funny, man. But it's kind of what you expect. But let's talk about Dre real quick for people just joining us, man. I'm with Coach Nigel Dunn, Miami, longtime Miami high school head coach, coached numerous of guys, but he was Andre Johnson's Hall of Fame head coach in high school down in Miami High. So if you're just joining in, just to let you know, Coach, he's at the U now. Right. The U is still rolling right now, right?
Right.
Still rolling. He enrolls in 2000, correct? I believe 2000. Graduate. So he's a part of the greatest, I'm not going to say one of the greatest college football team of all time, and a major contributor. I guess you already answered this, but do you think what was around Dre magnified him even more, like made him even bigger than what he already was? Like all the competition, I'm saying, because they always talk about that. because he's such a competitor.
I think that the atmosphere of how University of Miami was, and and his coach, right? I think it brought out even more of his talent. Because
Right.
number one, you have Coach Swayze, and you're gonna be working,
And
you gonna
CJ and them too, right?
and you got CJ. I remember CJ told me, "Oh, no, I'm gonna get him there, Coach. He ain't there yet." Like in the office, like me and CJ
Right.
going at it, and and I like that because he saw the potential, but he's saying, "I'm gonna get him to that level, Coach." I think that was like his fresh is. It was the spring of his second year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I went there. We should go out there, and coaches
Yeah.
go out there in the spring. So I was in the office talking. I said, "Man, my boy better be playing this year." How you selling out and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
So, but I think that the way University of Miami structure was, how the competitive nature was, how all those things, it just helped mold him even more. I think he already, and I felt we did a good job at Miami High in kind of letting them understand, okay, we got guys in college already that's gangster. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They went through this process right here. So it was easy. And then because like I said, when it was in 10th grade, we had to go get him and say, hey, this is what you're gonna do. Oh no, I know you play basketball, but you're gonna run track. So he kind of fell into a program where it was discipline. And then now he goes into another program that's the same, probably at a higher level. You know what I mean? And so I think that with the like I told you, he got that quiet competitiveness in him. You
Coach, like
understand me?
his Hall of Fame speech was probably the most I ever heard him talk.
Yeah, that's what the reporter asked me.
I remember he had a party at Iguanas one time. He came down. I don't know if it was his birthday party. It was I think it was his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw me he was like, "Hey, Coach." And he having a good time. That's all he said. "Hey, Coach."
Yeah.
That was it. Like, yeah. But his brother Willie Pope is just
Willie
like that too.
Listen, Willie, to be honest with you, this weekend, this is the most Willie don't talk to me in so long, And
And I remember talking to Willie, and this is a funny thing. Remember, they all went to Alabama A&M.
Right.
And I say, "Willie, what you gonna major in?" He said, "Communication." Bruh. I say, "Willie, you don't talk. What communications you talking about?" But it was just,
language.
And I was funny. I was just talking to Street, and we were just doing Hayes Street, and we were talking about the year of the bull, and we were trying to find out what year that was, and we ended up finding out. But I was telling him that Willie Pope was the one that jumped over my man to win the game and take us to state. Yeah. Willie Pope made a great play. Oh man, that was a great duo, man.
Yeah,
Bo
I
Pope,
always say Willie Pope has one of the best hands I've ever coached.
Oh my God,
that dude has some great hands, Yeah, but to reiterate again, I believe that University of Miami, with the competitive nature, with the type of leaders that they had over there, they had some leaders now that not only were coaches but was players. I remember him telling me, I'm staying with Ed Reed in the summertime at his apartment." You understand me? So, he had those kind of guys that saw that in him also. But I do believe that saying, I found her that saying my first year going to see Nick Saban, when this one of his biggest things he used to say in the weight room: iron sharpens iron.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Even though I looked at him, like I say, he was the first round draft pick, 3 pick overall. What do you think that meant? Were you there when he got drafted? Like, were you at this draft party?
Yeah, I was there.
What do you think at that moment? I know I'm asking some time back now, but if you could recall, what do you think that means to him? Because he was at home. It wasn't like he wasn't in New York or anything like that, right? He wasn't. He was.
No,
he was
at
home.
We actually was at a What hotel? We was at a hotel lobby. We had a party in the hotel lobby.
But I mean, it was local. It wasn't like at the
It's
NFL
local.
where you
Yeah,
sit in the
yeah,
back room.
yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Okay,
I
okay.
literally left there, and I left there and went to grad weekend.
Okay.
But when I was at Norland, but I think that he knew he was going to go uh, 1-3.
Okay.
Because at one, everybody was thinking Charles Rogers, and
Michigan State, Charlie Rogers.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, because
Nah, dog.
I'm obviously I'm biased, so I'm not, because Rogers was a good player also, but
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Because I remember seeing that on the side of this state. They had a quarterback named Jeff Smoker and Charlie Rogers. I remember seeing that on the stadium when we went to Michigan State.
Yeah,
they had a thing where he was throwing the ball and they said where there's smoke, and then they had Charlie Rogers on fire. Yeah,
right.
Gotcha. Okay.
But from that piece, I think that he knew that he was going to go high, and we all did. Because remember, them boys won a national championship. He was one of the top dudes. I remember staying in one of the coach's office, and they talking about, man, people don't know how Andre make our offense so great, and he don't complain. He begin double, and we said we just gonna run the ball over here because y'all doubling him, or we gonna throw over here because his last year he was getting double every time.
And still put up 1,000.
Yeah,
still put up 1,000 yards. Yeah.
So when you hear all those things that you hear in the people at University of Miami saying that, and of course you kind of figured that because you see him play, you saw the things he was doing to Florida, Nebraska. I think one of them was West Virginia. One of them schools he had a great game. But when you saw that, you kind of say, yeah, he gonna be a first round draft pick, And one of the things that I've heard other people around him said, I never really hear him say it, but he was gonna be guaranteed millions. A lot of people, when you get drafted, he was going to be guaranteed millions just being drafted.
Third pick overall.
Yeah. So that process was fun too, just listening to talk and all the different things that was going on from that prospect,
Yeah. So him going to the Texans, him having an opportunity, goes to the. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So him going to the Houston Texans, getting drafted, like I say, third pick overall. Now that was when they first expanded that team, right? That was like the first year.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know? If you don't, it's fine. But I didn't know if you know. Did he ever talk to you about? Oh man, coach, I'm going to this expansion team. Like I know he's not a complainer. He probably man, women helmet, women jersey. Right.
No, he didn't. We spoke. I think he had a quarterback. I think it might have been his second year. I'm not sure, because I remember they had a quarterback that was a high draft guy. What's this guy name? And matter of fact, he introduced me to him.
That's not Carr. Was it Carr? Not Carr.
Carr.
Yeah,
I think it was Carr. Yes, I met I think I met like 3 quarterbacks Friday night.
Wow.
But I think it was Carr. But I don't remember him ever saying anything like negative or saying, "Oh man, it's I think we probably said that more than he did.
Right.
Being
get out of there, man. Yeah,
being a coach, and he really did a lot for that organization, because he could have left his second contract, but he took it out. He could have left the third one, because he was at that time he was the top of the game. You know, for 3 years he was the top dude, and he could have left because again they didn't have no quarterback. He's one of them guys that never had quarterback.
Right. Here's what I'm gonna ask you before we get into the Hall of Fame piece of this.
Right.
You cut on the TV, Sports Center, dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
You see Dre dropping on fifth board D's on Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah.
Were you shocked, Coach?
I was in shock. I was in shock because not because he threw hands, because anybody can throw hands.
Right.
I was just shocked there because I think that he's a guy that at that point in his career, because remember I knew him when he was 15 to that point, I knew he took pride in not losing his cool, because I've heard him I've talked to him a lot and about things like that before that even happened, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, being a coach and being nosy, I should ask him, man, who be talking crap to you, bro? You know, so those kind of things I've always talked to him about. You know, who's the best corner and all that kind of stuff. So he said, "Man, Coach, I don't be. I sometimes I talk back to them, Coach. People just don't see it like that."
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
I knew that he took pride in being always cool. And so when that happened, my biggest thing wasn't the fact that he threw hands. Well, I want to know what they said to you for you to throw.
Man, that's what I was saying. Like, like nobody could. And I'll say this optically, because we know they got helmets on, and when you don't see people do something, you don't look for it. Warren Sapp, he gonna talk trash. Right. We looking for it. After the play over, we looking for him to say something. Dre, he catch the ball, he get up. We looking the other way. We looking back to see who else gonna talk some trash. Because so he probably be like, "Man, you sorry, mother." Have his hand up on his mouth, you know. And there's no emotion to it. He just says it, so you don't see body language. No, that's pretty cool. But did he ever talk to you about it?
He talked to me because I had to ask him. But he always said this guy. I think he had said, I'm trying to remember what exactly he said, but I know he said that guy always be talking smack. And that was a guy he wasn't very, very fond of, because that guy, I think he said, put it in a different level. I can't remember. I know he had told me what he said, but I can't really remember what it was. I just, like I said, he was the most important thing I remember when he was talking about it. It was just the guy
went too far with some stuff.
You know, but the guy was a guy that this wasn't the first time. He's always saying things that is inappropriate and whatnot.
Yeah. Hall of Fame, man. You hear he gets inducted. You know, I know y'all had conversations. Y'all definitely keep that private if you choose. But now this is your first Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. How did you feel as a coach? Did you ever think you knew he was going to be a pro, but did you think he was going to be a Hall of Famer?
When throughout his career or at the beginning?
No, I'm just saying, like, well, I think it's hard to say anybody you can say he's a Hall of Famer, but
you're not thinking that.
You're not thinking that way, but even as his career is going, you like say that first year, that second year, you like, okay, this dude, he know how to be a pro too. He on his way.
I think about his third, fourth, and fifth, or maybe it's a fourth, fifth, and sixth, when he had those back-to-back 1,050. And here's the thing. It's funny that you said that. I remember two things. I remember one Monday night game I watched, and usually I don't watch Monday night games because we got practice and I remember watching, and he just having a great game. And they was talking like, at the time he was like, he's the best receiver in the pro football. And I was like, man, he's at a different level, right? And then I saw him another year, played against Chicago, and he had 3 touchdowns. And the first time I heard the guy said, "Oh, one day he's going to be in the Hall of Fame." So that was the first time I was like, you know. But it just came and go because we never really talked about it. You know, we never really talked. But that's the first time that it was Chicago game. He had like 3 touchdowns, and then I think the commentator said, "One day this guy's gonna be in the Hall of Fame," and I was like, "Oh wow," you know. But it was like, "Oh wow," you know.
Go scoot over a little bit for me. You sliding out of the frame.
Okay,
there you
I'm
go.
Sorry.
No, you good. You good. I wanted people to see the the face of Dade County.
Oh yeah.
So hold on, if Pitbull is Mr. 305, let me see. Luke is the mayor. Trick is the I don't know what he is. Coach Dunn, what you gonna say? You the coach of the 305. I guarantee you the coach of the 305, man.
Yeah,
But let's say let talk to us about the festivities, right? A lot of us won't ever get an opportunity to partake in any of those festivities. What does it look like? What does the Hall of Fame? Because we just see the ceremony, but we don't see the festivities. What kind of happens as you go on that, like you said, that 4-day trip?
I think if anybody that love football get a chance, they have to go and experience that whole festival. To be honest with you, it's probably one of the highlight that I've been involved in. And I think a lot of it has to do with the ignorance that I never been to one. And all I've seen about it is really what we see on TV, the highlight, the mini speech, or they Sports Center might show you them putting on a jacket.
Right.
But the whole thing is like, I really, to be honest with you, have a different appreciation of the NFL. Just basing by all the events that went on and the first class and how many people that are invested in it. And so it was because Drake called me, like when he got inducted, he called me and he's like, Coach, I hope you're gonna be coming. I said, man, you ain't gotta worry about that. I'm gonna come.
Right.
But I'm speaking just because I'm happy for him. I don't know anything about how to get there, what it is, or anything like that, right? And so they they send you. He gives them a list, and they send it, and you get all the information, right? Excuse me. So I'm getting the information, Coach, and I'm looking at it like, hey man, I'm a teacher at Dade County. I'm like, God, no. Some of these events are like the hotel, and I mean it's a big thing. So I'm like,
thousands of dollars worth of stuff, yeah.
Yes. So in my thought process, and maybe it's just kind of small of me, I was like, okay, I definitely want to go to the one where he speaks, right? I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to the fashion show or a sit down. And so, while I'm doing this, I think a month into it, the Texan called me and they was like, hey coach, we've been trying to get Dre to send us this high school helmet and nobody can send us a high school. Do you have any pictures of his high school helmet for the float? So I sent it to them. So meanwhile, I said, so tell me, what do I need to do? She said, okay, coach, for the sit down dinner, you need to have a formal suit, right? And she says, for this is that. So, they give me the information. So I'm just getting it in. It's okay, I'm going to this thing, I'm going to that. Coach, it was like, it's nothing that you ever want to have ever experienced. And I think it was so magnifying because the Texans showed out. I'm talking about they came in like this was they came like there was only one person getting inducted in there.
Wow.
And so that piece was like, wow. And then it's one of your players, and you like, wow. And then when you go to all the events, it is so first class. And I'm like, how can you run a first class stuff with thousands and thousands of people? How do you pull that off? Right? And then you get to see the legendary guys, and to make it, I asked God the other day, I said, God, well, I mean, this ain't for me. Because listen, coach, listen. So I'm after Dre's speech, I'm going back. The media, Houston media have something for him, right? And
Mhm.
the football players from the Texans.
Mhm.
So I'm going, and then one of the guy from the Texans said, "Hey, Coach, come in this room. You can come in this room." Coach, I went in that room. You know what that room was? It was the dressing room. Oh, what do you call it? The green room for
The
all,
green room.
Coach, for all of the legendary. Coach, I'm standing, and I mean, I'm standing right next to Tony Dungy. I'm talking with Marcus Allen, Michael Jordan's over there. You got um, Eric Dixon, who looks great. I'm like, God, no, what you
Yeah.
eat, bro? And then I'm talking about all of them in there. I wasn't supposed to be in there,
Right.
but he just say, he's like, you Andre, because he started interviewing me. He said, Coach, you can come in here. So I mean, I was able to stay there for about maybe 15 minutes. And they say, so you have to leave. But
They're
I
like,
am. I'm there.
you ain't got no gold jacket. Your jacket a little mustard color. It ain't
Everybody.
gold, Coach.
Oh, it was everybody. It was a owner
Yeah.
and the wife and the two kids, and then it was me and the quarterback, and then everybody else had on gold jack, and so and everybody had just a kind spirit. Everybody
Yeah.
had a kind spirit, and so it was phenomenal. Um, uh, the speeches was excellent. I didn't know I was going to be on TV. Um, but I kind of, but what happened later on, you kind of figure it now because they had put me, because I'm like, I didn't pay for this seat right here. And they had me like right up front to the corner. And the ESPN guy came up to me and said, "Hey, your name is Nigel Dunn?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he said, "You F1?" I said, "Yeah, this F1 right here." And then he just walked off.
Yeah.
And so
They had to put the camera there to find you so they know what to look for you.
yes.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that because everything was just so, you seen all all of these great football players, and I want to give a shout out to the U alumni. Man, they came through, and man, I'm even a bigger fan of the U guys now because they came and they celebrate them twice, and you saw how happy he was. I saw me and Frank Gore, we hugging each other, we laughing, dapping about back in high school, and then Dre and like Coach, and then my
Oh,
other
hold on.
guy,
You were this close to getting Frank Gore, weren't you?
he know it.
This close.
He know. We were talking about it. We was laughing, giving each other dap, taking pictures, and even Devin coming through, man.
Testing.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he came and he didn't have to do this because I met him a couple of times before. So I'm like, you don't remember me? He said, Coach, I remember you, man. He said, I just want to tell you, man, thank you. Coaches like you have, what you done for all the high school guys like myself to get where we get. And it didn't have to say that. And
Right.
but everybody had a good spirit, man. Andrew James, he had a great spirit. He was
He cool
supporting,
cat, man. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then you even your boy Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith hung out
Really?
with the University of Miami players.
Man, we
And
should have kidnapped that dude into the first game. We'll get him
listen,
back.
man,
We'll give him back
listen.
after the game over.
But nah, he was like, oh, we only had one little knucklehead that was at the party was start doing the Florida State chant, and so they gave him the business like did. They gave him the business. But
Yeah.
Talbot Bain, you know Talbot,
Oh, Bane came. Bane went up
yeah,
there.
man. And
Good. Man.
he like, Coach, man, I've been wanting to talk to you. I said, man, Ben, you've been one of the legendary guys that started the guys going to
Yeah.
And so they had about at the last party, they had about 15 guys there. There's only two Hall of Fame guys didn't show up. That was
Really?
Lewis and Michael Irvin. But
Michael Irvin wasn't there?
well, he didn't go to the owners party, the
Yeah,
last
because
party.
he the one who but he did present Dre though, right?
Yes, he was there for the jacket award. But
Gotcha.
like I said, they have like 5 against events that was just so phenomenal. And then of course Sunday, the bus, them putting the bus up, and I got choked up,
Yeah.
just seeing that, because you literally going around looking at all these other guys, and you like,
Yeah.
damn, he in here, you like, and then you go to the
Kind of
last piece.
forget. You kind of forget
Yes,
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you do. And then you
Yeah.
go and Dre's right in the middle, and
I
everybody's
saw him put
around.
it up on the shelf. I saw the clip when he put it up on the shelf.
Yeah.
But Coach, did you ask him? And I would love to get him on here, maybe one day when he got time. I know it's super crazy, but I want to know what his feeling was like when he put that on that shelf, because you are now enshrined forever. It ain't they ain't gonna tear it down and somebody forget about it. Like, it's not like somebody named a street after you and 10 years later they name it something else. Like, this is forever.
Ever,
Yeah.
It's I was another reason I was so happy, because I saw him happy, and I saw the stage that went through. I saw the stage when Friday, when everybody's crying, because because you don't see this on TV, right? The jacket thing is so emotional. You seeing guys that can barely walk, and they going on the stage, and they come down in this area where you got to go through the whole gauntlet, and guys are hugging you, some guys shaking your hands. You understand me? And so, and the thing that gave me chills was, how they had to split up, and 3UM was on the other side, and they saw that Dre was coming from the other side, and they was like, even though we know this is a big event, they were like, bunk this. They ran over to the other side and skipped all the other Hall of Famers and said, "We gonna be the first one." And I said, "Man, my hats off to Michael Irvin, hats off to Edwin James, hats off to Warren Sapp." They just went over there, man. They skipped everybody because they was on the other piece and just hugged them. And then after that, man, tears was coming. We all crying and stuff. And then
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and then they presented, right? So saying that, Coach, that Friday night, right? He was in he was like, yeah, he was he threw a party.
It's starting to hit him.
And then he wanted everybody to know, this is my coach right here. So he was like that. Yeah, so because he thrown a party, Coach. I don't go to no damn party. And a club, he cut the club, and so I'm over on the other side. He said, "Man, you come over here, Coach. I'll pay for all this stuff right here." So saying that, he was just happy Friday night, right? But then Saturday night, Coach, Saturday night came, Coach. It was like he couldn't believe it. That he believed it, but after his speech, because everything was like coming at him. You got to go do the media stuff. You got to go do this. And then the owners, and so, Coach, he was so, like, he got on stage a couple of times, and he was like, he can't believe it. Even, and then you got all your other Hall of Fame boys that from coming. You got Florida came. Udonis there. I mean, you got some people from Miami that's celebrating. And, of course, that place was live. So, that piece, Coach, it hit him.
Yeah.
And the last thing he said was, "Damn, I'm a Hall of Famer."
Yeah.
And walked off the stage.
Yeah.
So it went to do 2 different levels, but he definitely was on cloud 9.
That's awesome, man.
I'm
proud of him, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him, man. Like I say, I know him more through you and your stories than I know him. Of course, we know his brother a lot well because he was in the league at the time, but I'm just happy to see those guys, man. And all of them, man. I don't care where they're from, but all of these guys, man. I mean, hell, it's great just to be drafted.
Yes.
And then to say you are the elite of the elite.
Yes.
And you will be enshrined. Yeah, you're not in a book somewhere in a record book. You are in, like, so they made your face. How did he like it? Did he like the bus? Did he like
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
'Cause
we didn't really talk about that piece because they
yeah.
let him hold it for the that Saturday night for the owners party.
Oh,
They
did
let
they?
him. Yeah, man, I took some pictures. I got to send some pictures.
Okay.
So he had the bus. Let me say it's probably not him. The Texan organization had it, and so
Okay.
they set it. They set it up, and so then they had to go Sunday morning, and he had to put it up.
Put
You
it up
know.
on the shelf. It's life size,
Yeah.
like a size of a real head, though. It's not big or
Yes.
large.
Yes. It's a big thing. You
Yeah,
know.
that's what I kind of thought, man. Yeah, I'm gonna make it to Canton one day, man. I'm gonna make it to Canton one day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it'll be super interesting, man. But I'm just happy for him. Like, fortunately, I had a chance to be around EJ a lot, Edrin James
Mm-hmm.
here. He had a nephew that played for me. He literally lived 10 minutes down the road there. He always has a place he calls the property, and he has a lot of kids come there in the summers and they work out. They got weights and
Oh, okay.
ladder drills and all that stuff. So that he bought a place and they call it the property, and they do a lot of things there with the players in the summer. Even Devin Hester, when Devin Hester moved here, he moved. I'll leave that place nameless, but he moved not far
Right.
from there. But
Right.
I left I ran, he had a camp, and I actually had opportunity to run the camp at the school. And so we took some pictures, we did some things and that stuff. So I just been blessed too, man, to be around some of these guys and we talk. Yeah,
Right.
even Jameis Winston, when he was at Tampa Bay, they did a thing here. One of them balls down there, I think is that white ball over there is, if I'm leaning the right way, that's Jameis Winston signed that one.
Yeah.
So we just had an opportunity to be around some of these guys, man. But being a Miami Hurricane fan, and get a chance to see these guys and see what it is and see what it was, and just to see, like, Coach, I remember having a magazine with Devin Hester on it. You remember Nate? Oh God, what was his name, bro? Hold on, Plater Edison, number one. Nate, he's called the King of Mean. He was supposed to go to Miami, ended up going to Louisville, got in a little trouble. Nate Harris. Nate Harris.
Yeah.
Nate Harris.
Nate Harris. Oh wow. Yes.
I had a Coach Nate Harris was a gangster, boy.
Yeah, he was.
Coach, he out there cussing people out. I told the story. He cussing people out. You mother. And I never forget the ref say, "Hey, number one, calm it down." He said, "Hey, ref, I'm just calling my plays. Bro, I remember he hit Sean Spence one time so hard, the yard marker was cut in half, and the dude was holding the yard. You don't remember it? Man, he was, oh my God.
Yeah, he was different dude, man.
But I remember Devin Hester being on this magazine, and he had Suncoast shorts, and he's kind of looking down at the camera catching the ball. And again, the internet was not like it is now, so you had to read magazines on these guys.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, this dude this fast. Who is this cat? Blah blah blah. And when that dude said, "I'm gonna take the first one," and boy, you remember that he popped that helmet off?
Yeah. Yeah. That dude, and very incredible spirit. Like I said, I met him a couple of times. I met him right when he was getting to come to Miami, and I met him at the Pro Bowl one year. Mm-hmm. And then I took pictures with him. I told him I'm gonna post it, and then I took another one with him on the Saturday night. But just a humbling spirit, man. But you're right. We get to see. We're fortunate because of the business that we're in. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. The business that we're in, we get to see them that young and grow into men. Even our guy Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with them actually at the Hall of Fame. I was saying that not to put him down, but Antonio was different from Andre, because Andre was, I know what I had in Andre, going home, all the little things, I know that I'm gonna have him there,
right.
And where with Antonio, I had to kind of hold him back a little bit because we didn't really understand what might happen. You know, very articulate young man, very smart young man, very practice extremely hard. But you didn't know what might happen. So I told a story that, you know, the first 3 or 4 games we were kind of handcuffing him a little bit because we didn't know, you know, okay, you know, is he what's going to happen, you know, and so they were
And I
both
talked about
tremendous talent.
and I talked about Tony, man. Like, you remember how you got on? Remember you said, "Hey, go out there and dog that dude, man."
Yeah,
Cool. You couldn't dog him. He
you
was
couldn't
too
dog
athletic.
him. Yeah,
Cool, 5,000-yard log roll. Cool, that dude
yeah.
got him and say,
Big
"You
heart
say,
more.
cool." You like, all right, where my helmet at, coach? And his other homeboy, remember the other homeboy quit.
Yeah,
I'll leave
quit,
him name.
yeah.
He quit. And Tony, man, I remember one time he did something. Remember you changed his jersey number like 20 or 22 or something?
Yeah.
He did like that. He looked at that jersey. He did like the put that thing on and win and ball. He didn't care about it.
Yeah.
Like he just didn't care. But like one thing about Tonio was when he was at practice,
Everything was good. Model, yeah.
Man. Cool. You remember the police brought that dude back with the paintball gun?
Mm-hmm.
He standing out to Gary the Lee. It was like, Tonio, come on. No, man, but those are, you know, I think it's great just to hear those stories, man, and see, you know. But yeah, man, we had some characters, man, you know, and you know, Xavier Rhodes and all those kind of cats. Lester Jean. Matter of fact, Kayvon Webster. Yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of a quarterback, Rashad reached out to me. He was with another coach. He lives in Orlando now, from Jackson.
Okay. Rashad,
he lives in
isn't it rapping now?
I don't know if he said he coaching. He said he's getting into coaching, some little league and some training. But he reached out to me yesterday. Matter of fact, he was with another guy coaching. Yeah, just yesterday, man. And he living here in Orlando. He said, "Mom, I'm doing fine." But yeah, man, like it's just so. I hate to say it, not hate to say it, but it's coach. 20-some years went by like that, coach.
Yes.
Coach, like that.
It goes fast.
I remember walking in your office that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember it too.
That was 2000. That was in the summer of 2000.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness, man. But
I remember giving you that big playbook.
No, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You ready?
I know you ain't read that book.
No, I probably got it over here, but no, you gave me that first book, but it still had some Miami High
stuff, yeah, verbiage.
Yeah. So you gave me this book, and remember the guys were already in summer camp, summer training, and you gave me this. It was like a playbook, like the initial stuff, huddles, and I remember. I'm looking at it, and in the book it says sting right, sting left, right? Because y'all Miami High stingeries, right? That was the strength call. Yeah. I didn't know that at the time. In my mind, it was always strong right, strong left. Coach, I never forget this. I got this book in my hand, and Vilburn Toussaint said to me, "Coach, what I do on this play?" I like, "Bro, I've been here 10 minutes. I have no idea." I literally was there 10 minutes.
And he went straight to me.
I know. I said, "Coach, I've been here 10 minutes." And it was like it was a Wednesday. I came home Monday. I interviewed with you on that Wednesday. I came from college Wednesday. And then I think I came back that afternoon because they had afternoon workouts because Rob Hall was out there working them out.
Rob, yeah.
And I had my college stuff on, so they thought I was a scout. So L'Oreal Johnson was running hard, but he was like, but anyhow, Coach, I didn't know what the hell a Vite call was to save my life, Coach. It took me all weekend to figure it out because the book was so different.
Yeah.
And I remember Vilburn said, "Coach, what's the Vite call?" And I'm like, "The Vite call?" I'm like, "Bro, I've been here 10 minutes, dog." Like, I literally like, "Give me a minute." And I remember I sat that whole weekend, and then I somehow just clicked that the Vite call was a strength call because I equated it to the sting You had a
Right.
sting right and a sting left. Yeah, man. Oh man.
Yeah,
Holy
we had some hell of a players, man. You know, a hell of a
yeah,
play.
yeah, man. Oh
You
god, so
know?
much fun. But
Yeah.
like I said, I had a chance to go up there and see Bostic and everything on the when I was in Atlanta. He got a big time guy, which you was with our
Yes.
interview. I'm actually gonna
Yeah.
put that out here soon. But yeah, man, it's a lot. But here's what I'll say to you, Coach. I'm not gonna hold you much longer. We've been on here probably longer than we want, but that's how it is when you start having fun.
Right.
Tell Dre, Coach Hayes, say, man, congratulations, brother. Um, his mom, Karen. I remember her
Yeah.
coming by the office every now and then and stuff, checking in and stuff. But man, awesome job. And to his point in his speech, she had a Hall of Fame effort in raising them, man. It ain't
Yeah.
easy, man. It ain't
No,
easy, man.
it's not.
And wow, amazing. So yeah, make sure you tell Dre and their family, man. Coach Hayes say congratulations, bro. Congratulations, man.
I
Well,
will
Coach,
do
is there
that.
anything else, man? We could wrap this deal up.
No, first of all, congratulations on your show, man. It's a hell of a
Thanks,
show.
man.
It's very informative, and like I said, it's funny. And I'm glad when you have those guys coming in and call in and whatnot. Um, I do said that, I'm glad that God blessed me in not only dealing with Hall of Fame guys. I was able to see a couple guys that I coached that made some bad choices, and some things happened to them, and then now they recover, and now they have their family, and uh,
Yes,
two of
yes.
them they didn't say it on TV. And I'm saying this, and it's not really just for me. It's a lot of coaches like me,
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and other coaches that have done things like that. And one of the things that um, those guys said, like I said, it was a great weekend. They was like, Coach, I thank you for the things that you did for us, as far as discipline and teaching us how to be a man, and teaching us how to get up, because, like I said, a couple of them got a situation where they were incarcerated, and now
Mm-hmm.
they working, they married. One of them I hung with the whole. He said, Coach, I'm your chauffeur. Forget your car. And he took me all. Seriously, him and his wife took me all. I want to call the names out, but just shout out to
Right,
them,
right, right.
and shout out for all the coaches that, even though we didn't, people don't put that on TV. I'm glad Dre honored me that way. But there's a lot of coaches out there like yourself that
They
have
do their
done
work,
these
man.
things, and that no one sees, and there's
Mm.
no ESPN, and a lot of things that we have talked to them about, or teach them, or discipline, now when they get older, excuse me, it come to pass. So that was the ESPN thing, and Dre stuff was just awesome. But also
Yeah,
the same token, seeing those two young men with their wives, and then they have children, and they're talking
yeah,
about, some of the things you taught us about, when you get knocked down to get up and stand. And football did that for us. So I want to encourage all the guys that are out there, and all the listeners now. You get a chance to do something for a coach, do it, man. Like I
yeah.
said, that Hall of Fame, if we can package that Hall of Fame weekend in this world, man, this world would be
Mm.
great, because everybody was so nice to everybody. Everybody was happy, celebrating. They were celebrating the elders, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were celebrating the youth now that was coming into it, and then you had so much guys that from different team that were just celebrating somebody and just being happy.
Right, right,
So
right, right, right,
I
right.
do want to say that, and thank you for this platform.
Oh,
You know,
man, anytime.
yeah,
Anytime, man. Like I say, Cole, we gonna be back down there, because I know me and you sat at that Miami Hurricane Florida State game, not
yeah,
last year, because it was the year before. Me and you sat there and watched that. Well, I'm gonna be back down there, Cole, for the Florida
bro.
State game.
I'll be right.
Me and you gonna sit down.
I'll be
We're gonna
right
sit in the
with you,
end zone
bro.
and watch it. We're gonna sit in the end zone and watch it, man. Well, Coach, like I say, man, I appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, buddy.
You are family. It's not like
Right.
family. You are family.
Yeah.
And whatever I can do, we're gonna make it happen, man. And it is
Right.
what it is. But I'm super excited, man. Golly. I almost don't want to hang up. Like Coach,
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the phone. I want to talk some more ball, man. But we'll do it. We will. We know we'll talk, man. We'll definitely talk.
Well,
I'm
maybe
glad you
we'll
have.
get Dre to come across and give him his prospects of him high
because he's
school
in the
and stuff
coaching.
like that.
He's in the coaching world now, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I know he was coaching for the Texans. He was coaching at the Texans.
Yeah. I don't know if we even talk about nothing like that. I don't even know if he's, I just know that I met some people that say he's involved with the Houston Astro. And
okay. I didn't know he was coaching for the Texans at one time. And then
right.
I don't know how true this was, but at one time his face or his name was going around. I want to say Texas State. Something
Texas
like that.
Southern.
Texas,
I heard that.
Southern,
Yes.
Yeah, something to that effect. But man, like I say, it is what it is. It was great, man. Like I say, Deion Sanders, shout out to him for putting the jacket on Devin Hester. Man, shout out to him. Man. Yeah, man. Awesome. Well, Coach, let me go ahead and get up out this thing, man. We had an hour 41. We're gonna do it, man. Tell everybody I said hi. We'll be talking soon, Coach.
All right, peace, brother.
All right, that's Coach Nigel Dunn, high school legend in Miami. Andre Johnson's head coach, Roscoe Parrish, Richard Gordon, Randy Duke Johnson, Darren Mickle. Let me go back a little bit. Cedric Irvin. Let me look at some of these pictures on this wall. Cadillac, Antoine Bonds. Let me see here. BJ Manley.
Dwayne Bowe.
Man, I got a wall full of stuff back here, Cole. We could do this forever, man. And I done said for the past 4 years, I got to change these pictures out because the players get jealous because they see the same pictures. I'm going to change them out. I got a whole crate of
some pictures. I'll send you some pictures.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I'll be back down there shortly, man.
Okay, my brother.
All right, brother. Thanks, Coach. Peace.
Peace.
All right, real quick before I go, man, for anybody that would like to join our fantasy, I know they're like, dang, Coach, relax. Man, we had 2 more people just sign up since we've been. I just didn't want to interrupt the interview. So shout out to them. I don't want to say their real name live. Just know 2 more people have signed up, man. It is fun. The college fantasy, if you're into college fantasy football, if you're into college fantasy football, you don't normally see college. Well, Coach, this is our 3rd year doing it. Got 3 leagues, $25, $50, $100. Pays you $225, $450, or $900. You can join all of them. You join one of them, join 2 of them. All right. But all you need to do is Cash App $ Coach Hayes Football. Put your email address in the memo section of the Cash App. Make sure you see this logo right here, this black and white logo. If you email it to the wrong person, your money has been donated to that person. All right. If you don't put your email address in the memo section, you've donated the money to Coach Hayes because I don't know where to send a link to. Right? I don't know where to send a link to. Okay? And also, FanTrack Sports, that's where the email will be coming from. And check your spam folder as well. It may fall into the spam folder by accident. And if you have any questions, make sure you email coachhayesfootball@gmail.com. Make sure you go ahead and check that out as well. So if you'd like to do that, you're more than welcome. You got probably about another 7 days before they fill up. So let's make sure we make it happen and we'll go from there. All right. Also, let me do this. Thank you, Rick Stevenson. Thank you. Says great interview, Coach Hayes. Man, I think it is an interview, but that's my brother, bro. I just call it a conversation, but I know what you mean. But thank you, Rick. I do. Rick Smith, why Coach Hayes don't ever mention Coach Coley? I talk about him all the time. Shout out to James Coley over there at Georgia right now. I was going to say South Carolina, but over at Georgia. Actually, Coach Dunn, myself, Coach Coley, got that thing rolling, man. Coach Coley was the OC. I was the DC. Coach Dunn was the head coach. And, yeah, man, shout out to James Coley in the building. I didn't know I didn't mention him, but shout out to you, Rick. Appreciate it. Shard says, good show, Coach. I see the joy. Because, man, you know what, though, Shard? You got a chance to talk ball. And you can just talk ball. That's all I'm saying. I just be wanting to talk football, man. That's it, Shard. So I have fun, right? That's family. When you have family, you know what I mean? It's easy to talk to, easy to talk about. All right. So like I say, I wish everybody the best. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man. We got some things to take care of. Had a good time in the Discord. If you want to join that, it's all in the Discord link is in the channel as well. You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. Adam, man, I'm glad you stayed by. Maybe you ain't hang up tonight, like you did the other night. Oh God. Kohei with his I look like I golf shirt. Man, you know what? I was rushing. I actually forgot to put on a Miami shirt. I didn't even realize it until halfway through the interview, to be honest. I didn't even realize it, man. I didn't even realize it. But no, man, we had a lot of fun. It was cool, man. Like I said, y'all want to jump in the Discord for a quick second in the locker room, we can just kind of finish this up. But shout out to Andre Johnson, his family. Shout out to Devin Hester, his family, and all the other Hall of Famers. And I'm gonna see, man. I'm gonna reach out to EJ, man. He right down the street. What? Come on, coach. I'm slipping. Why ain't you talk to the man? He literally 5 to 10 minutes down the street. Go knock on the door. Hey, yo, EJ, I got a donk too, my man. Oh, how about I do this? Let me change it. I got a donk too, my man. Huh? It is what it is. But with all that being said, I'm out of here, man. As always, it's Go Canes. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Much love. I'm out of here. Peace. Man, that was awesome.